Today, we're going to talk about something that almost everyone experiences, but few people really understand: boredom. Now let's be real for a moment. When you hear the word boredom, what comes to mind? Maybe you think of awkwardly staring at the ceiling in your bedroom on a rainy day, waiting for something exciting to happen. Or maybe you think of those long hours during a road trip when you've read every billboard, counted every car, and still have hours to go. For a lot of us, boredom is something to avoid, something to escape as quickly as possible. But what if I told you that boredom, yes, the very thing we try so hard to avoid, might actually be good for you? In today's video, we're going to dive deep into the powerful and often overlooked benefits of boredom. Along the way, I'll share tips and strategies on how to embrace boredom and even turn it into a positive force in your life. So why are we so afraid of boredom? The concept of boredom isn't new, but in our modern world, it seems like it's become much more unbearable. Maybe that's because we've developed this near constant need for stimulation, always checking our phones, always looking for something to fill even the tiniest bit of downtime. But what if I told you that boredom has been a catalyst for some of the most essential qualities we can develop as humans? Creativity, self-awareness, patience, gratitude, and authentic connections to others, all of these can be fostered through moments of boredom. Today, we're going to explore these ideas in detail. Let's start by talking about something that might come as a surprise: how boredom can actually make you more creative. So let's dive right into it. How exactly does boredom spark creativity? Well, when you're not occupied with anything specific, something interesting happens in your brain. You enter what's known as the default mode network. Think of it as your brain's screensaver. When you're not actively focused on a task, this network takes over. Now, this might sound technical, but stay with me. When this default mode network is active, your mind starts to wander. It flits from one thought to another. Sometimes those thoughts are random, but when you give your mind the freedom to roam, it can lead to some pretty incredible ideas. For example, have you ever noticed that you come up with your best ideas while you're doing something mundane, like taking a shower, going for a walk, or lying in bed trying to fall asleep? That's your default mode network at work. In those moments of so-called boredom, your brain isn't idle. It's actually making connections, solving problems, and generating creative thoughts. Even Albert Einstein and other famous thinkers in history often credited their great discoveries to moments of idle, unfocused thinking. Let's bring it back to modern times. Have you ever found yourself doodling absent-mindedly during a boring meeting or class? That doodle might not seem like much, but it's a form of expression that comes from allowing your brain to wander. Sometimes that's all it takes to unlock a new idea or to see a problem from a different angle. Let me give you a concrete example. There's a story about J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. The idea for the wizarding world didn't come to her while she was intensely focused on achieving a goal. Instead, she was on a delayed train ride, daydreaming when the entire concept for Harry Potter suddenly hit her. That's the power of creativity born from boredom. And think about kids. When they're bored, they often create entire worlds with their toys, turning a simple box into a spaceship, or pretending that a stick is a magical sword. Boredom forces them to use their imagination, and it's where some of their most creative ideas and stories come to life. Here's a fun experiment for you to try. The next time you feel bored, resist the urge to immediately reach for your phone. Instead, grab a piece of paper and just start doodling or writing, anything that comes to mind. You might be surprised by the ideas that start flowing. Now that we've explored creativity, let's shift gears to another benefit of boredom: self-reflection. When we're constantly on the go, it's easy to get caught up in the rush of daily life. Work, errands, social media, endless notifications, they all keep us busy. But how often do we have the chance to just stop and think? Boredom gives us that chance. It's like a little nudge that tells us, hey, maybe it's time to slow down and check in with ourselves. So, what exactly does self-reflection involve? It's all about taking a step back to examine your thoughts, feelings, and actions. It helps you to gain insight into what's going on in your life and how you can make things better. Let me share an example. Imagine you're feeling stuck in a rut. You're going through the motions every day, but something feels off. You can't quite put your finger on it. Then one day, you find yourself just sitting there with absolutely nothing to do. At first, you might reach for your phone out of habit, but somehow you resist the urge. As you sit there idle, your mind starts to wander. You begin thinking about your work, your relationships, your personal goals. You realize that some things in your life just aren't aligned with who you are or what you truly want. That's self-reflection at work. These moments of realization are important because they present an opportunity for growth. Maybe you decide to make a change, whether it's pursuing a new career, working on a hobby, or improving your relationships with others. Boredom gives your mind the space it needs to dig deep and uncover these desires and insights. Here's another tip. Set aside a few minutes each day, ideally at the end of your day, to do nothing. Just sit quietly and let your mind wander. Don't worry about trying to solve any problems. Just let your brain do its thing. You might be surprised at the insights and ideas that come to you when you give your mind a little breathing room. Now I want to talk about something that might hit closer to home for a lot of us: our attention spans. With so many things constantly vying for our attention, our ability to focus has taken a serious hit in recent years. But boredom can actually help us to regain some of that focus. Here's how. When you're bored, your brain has time to process information, organize thoughts, and prioritize what's truly important. It's like hitting the reset button on your attention span. Without constant distractions, your brain has a chance to reset and rediscover what it feels like to focus on one thing at a time. Here's something to try. Have you ever heard of the Pomodoro technique? It's a time management method that involves working in focused intervals, usually 25 minutes, followed by a short break. This technique is effective because it helps to break the cycle of constant stimulation. By scheduling breaks, you allow moments of productive boredom, which can actually enhance your ability to focus on the task at hand. All right, let's shift gears a bit. Another surprising benefit of boredom is that it helps us to build patience. We live in a world where almost everything is instantaneous. Want to watch a movie? Stream it online. Want food delivered? Tap a few buttons on an app. Value convenience? There's probably an app for that too. While instant gratification isn't necessarily a bad thing, it does have a downside. It makes us less patient. We're not used to waiting for things anymore, which can lead to frustration when something takes longer than expected. But boredom, when we don't have instant gratification, gives us the practice we need to become more patient. Think about how waiting for something can become an exercise in patience. For example, when you're waiting for a friend who's running late, instead of getting frustrated, you can use that time to practice patience and reflect on your day or plans. Maybe you start to observe your surroundings, noticing details you'd normally overlook, or you begin to wonder about people passing by as their stories unfold. These simple moments teach you to enjoy the wait rather than dread it. Here's another idea to help you build patience. Try using the next time you're waiting in line as an opportunity to practice mindfulness. Focus on your breath, or take a moment to tune in to the sights and sounds around you. This practice helps you stay calm and present, turning a situation that feels boring into one that enhances your mindfulness. Now let's talk about something that's especially relevant in today's fast-paced world: mental well-being. Believe it or not, boredom can serve as a quiet ally in maintaining a balanced and peaceful mind. In a world that's always demanding our attention, boredom gives us a chance to unplug and recharge. When we're constantly exposed to information, drama, and the pressure to always be on, it can take a toll on our mental health. Boredom, however, acts as a buffer. Think of it as a reset button, a chance for your mind to step off the treadmill and just breathe. Let's dive deeper into how this works. When you give your brain a break from constant stimuli, it reduces stress and anxiety. This is because it allows your mind and body to switch from the fight or flight mode that we often find ourselves in to a more relaxed state where healing and recovery can happen. Research has shown that periods of boredom may help combat anxiety and restlessness. Consider this. When you give yourself the space to just be, without constantly feeding your brain with more information or more tasks, you're actually giving it time to recalibrate. This restores balance. It's like hitting the refresh button on your mental operating system. A practical tip to make the most of this is to schedule boredom breaks into your day, even if just for a few minutes. You don't need a lot of time. Just a moment here and there can do wonders for lowering your stress levels and keeping you mentally fresh. But here's another angle that you might not have considered. Boredom can help you to reconnect with the little things that bring genuine joy and contentment. When was the last time you took a walk outside and noticed the sound of birds singing or the scent of fresh flowers in the air? These are small pleasures we too often overlook in our busy lives. Yet, in moments of boredom, when you're not preoccupied with anything else, you might find yourself paying attention to these little things. Suddenly, you notice the beauty of the world around you, and that can foster a sense of gratitude and contentment. Think about the last time you were truly grateful for something simple. Maybe it was the way the sunlight streamed through your window in the morning, or maybe it was the warmth of a cozy blanket on a chilly night. These small pleasures can turn ordinary moments into something magical, and boredom gives you the opportunity to tune in and appreciate them. I want to share a story. A friend of mine was feeling pretty down after losing their job. At first, they were overwhelmed by boredom and endless free time. But as they navigated through those days, something interesting started to happen. They began to appreciate things they'd never noticed before, like cooking a simple meal or the way their pet greeted them happily when they walked through the door. These little things, which had once seemed mundane, became sources of joy and contentment. These moments taught my friend that even in the midst of uncertainty, there's beauty to be found. No matter what kind of day you're having, there's always something to appreciate, even if it's as simple as a good cup of tea or the comfort of a favorite book. As you can see, recognizing and appreciating the little things is key to cultivating happiness. The next time you're feeling bored, take a moment to notice the small details around you. You might be surprised at how much beauty is hiding in plain sight. Now, I want to talk about something that has become increasingly important in today's world: authentic connection with others. In a time when social media makes it easy to stay connected without really connecting, true relationships and meaningful interactions can often take a back seat. Interestingly, boredom can help to address this problem. Here's how. When we're genuinely bored and our usual go-to distractions don't satisfy us, we may find ourselves seeking out more meaningful interactions with others. Think about it. When we're not busy scrolling through social media or binge-watching another series, we're more likely to pick up the phone and call a friend, or spend some quality time talking to a family member or loved one. This is where boredom can play a pivotal role. It can be the spark for deeper, more genuine connections. Let's consider an example. Suppose you happen to have a free day with no tasks on your to-do list. Initially, the boredom sets in and you might feel tempted to spend the whole day in front of the TV. But what if, instead, you use that time to connect with someone you care about? Perhaps you decide to call an old friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Or maybe you go out for a walk with family members or neighbors and talk about things that matter to you. These interactions build bonds, and they fulfill one of our fundamental needs as humans: the need for connection. Here's a practical tip. The next time you find yourself at loose ends with nothing to do, resist the urge to turn on the TV or pick up your phone. Instead, make a plan to connect with someone in a meaningful way. Whether it's through a simple conversation or spending time together in the same physical space, these moments can help strengthen your relationships. In fact, some of the best memories are made during times of unexpected boredom when you turn to your loved ones for interaction. Whether it's playing a board game with your family or just having an impromptu conversation over the phone, these are the moments that tend to stick with us for years to come. Another benefit of boredom, one that doesn't get nearly enough attention, is its role in fostering resilience. Resilience is our ability to cope with challenges and bounce back from difficult situations. In many ways, boredom can act as a trainer, helping us to build up this vital skill. Resilience isn't just about overcoming major life challenges. It's also about handling the little challenges we face day in and day out. When you experience boredom and the discomfort it sometimes brings, you're learning how to deal with it. And this is important because life isn't always exciting or easy. There will be struggles, frustrations, and yes, boring moments. So why not use boredom as an opportunity to practice resilience? When you're bored and feeling uncomfortable, challenge yourself to stick with those feelings for a bit. Don't rush to fill the void with distractions. Instead, ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What can I learn from this moment? By doing this, you're training your mind to tolerate discomfort and grow stronger because of it. Here's a little exercise. The next time you feel bored, instead of immediately seeking distraction, try to sit with that feeling for a few minutes. Notice what comes up, whether it's discomfort, restlessness, or a sense of urgency to do something. By not immediately reacting, you're building your ability to handle uncomfortable feelings, which will help you build resilience over time. If you can get comfortable with being bored, you'll be better equipped to handle stress, uncertainty, and the ups and downs of life. This is because boredom teaches you that you don't always need to be entertained or stimulated to be okay. Sometimes it's enough just to be present, allowing whatever feelings arise to come and go naturally. Another interesting angle on this is how boredom encourages problem solving. When you find yourself with nothing to do, your brain starts searching for ways to fill that gap. This often leads to creative problem solving, as you think of ways to make your environment or situation more engaging. Let's say you're bored at work, and you've already finished all your tasks for the day. Instead of just sitting there, your mind starts looking for something productive to do. Maybe you come up with an idea to streamline a process, or you think of a way to improve communication within your team. These problem-solving skills are sharpened by moments of boredom when your brain isn't preoccupied with specific tasks. So here's an idea. The next time you're dealing with something repetitive or unchallenging, use that boredom as an opportunity to flex your problem-solving muscles. Challenge yourself to come up with ways to make the task more interesting, efficient, or valuable. You might be surprised at the solutions you create when you allow your mind to wander outside the usual confines. Finally, I want to talk about how boredom can deepen your sense of self. In today's world, we're often so wrapped up in the hustle and bustle that we lose sight of who we really are and what truly makes us happy. But boredom gives us the time and space to rediscover our authentic selves. Without the constant input of social media, work demands, and entertainment, you're left with your own thoughts, desires, and dreams. Boredom can serve as a mirror that reflects what really matters to you, what you truly value in life. Take, for example, someone who's always busy with work and social activities. When they suddenly find themselves with no plans and a free evening, they might initially feel a bit lost. But in this quiet, unstructured time, they might realize that what they've really been missing isn't more work or more socializing, but rather time for themselves, to pursue a passion, relax, or simply be. These moments when you connect with your inner self can guide you toward what genuinely makes you happy. Whether it's reconnecting with an old hobby, spending more time in nature, or simply enjoying the peace that comes with solitude, these insights help you live a life that's more aligned with who you truly are. Here's one more tip to make the most of this. Try to schedule time where you unplug completely. No phone, no television, no distractions. Use this time to engage in activities that nurture your soul. Whether it's journaling, painting, or simply sitting and observing your surroundings, these free moments are often the richest in discovering who you really are. All right, we've covered a lot today, so let's recap and sum it all up. Boredom, as it turns out, isn't something to be feared or avoided. It's actually a powerful tool that can help us in so many meaningful ways. From sparking creativity and encouraging self-reflection, to building patience, nurturing deeper connections, and even helping to strengthen our resilience, boredom plays a critical role in our lives. And the best part is, we can harness the benefits of boredom by simply giving ourselves permission to experience it. Instead of always seeking to fill every empty moment, what if we embraced boredom and used it as an opportunity to grow, connect, and discover new aspects of ourselves? So the next time you find yourself saying, "I'm so bored," think of it not as a complaint but as an invitation. An invitation to explore, reflect, create, connect, and ultimately to be more present in your life. That's it for today's video. I hope it helped you see boredom in a brand new light, and maybe even inspired you to welcome it into your life. If you enjoyed this video and found it valuable, please hit that thumbs up button. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos on personal growth, creativity, and living a balanced life. And I'd love to hear from you. When's the last time you felt bored and how did you use that time? Share your experiences in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified of new videos.